Today I'm going to show you how to replace an old leaky threaded shutoff valve, aka angle stop, from the bathroom sink faucet. At this point you have to turn off the main water shutoff. I left the kitchen sink running so you could see the needle spinning when the water is flowing, but as soon as I shut off the power, the needle will stop spinning. This is a very old shutoff where you have to turn the valve exactly 45 degrees. And as you can see, the needle has stopped moving, but now you still want to run your bathtub to get the last bit of water pressure out. Now get a bucket and start removing the old valve with a wrench, but don't make the same rookie mistake as me. You need 2 wrenches, one to hold the pipe steady and the other to turn the valve. Then you need to remove all the old gunk and all the old Teflon tape. Use a wire brush and/or toothbrush to get the old threads nice and clean. This step is very important, so make sure to be thorough. And because this is a threaded pipe, you have no choice but to use a threaded shutoff valve. More about that later. Now put on a few layers of Teflon tape in the clockwise direction, followed by some pipe dope, aka pipe thread sealant, also going clockwise, because that is the direction that you will be screwing on your valve and you don't want to go against the tape. The haters will say I did not use enough tape or pipe dope, but that's debatable. Some also said to use white thin tape from Home Depot, but I find that stuff cheap and hard to work with. More feedback from other people at the end of this video. Let me know what you think in the comments though. This blue tape is pretty thick and it's called Blue Monster. Check the Amazon link in the description for this and other items I use in the video. Also, make sure to buy the correctly sized valve. It should be 1/2 inch for the inlet and 3/8 inch for the outlet. At least that's the case here. Then you twist on your valve by hand and then tighten with one wrench while you hold the pipe with the other wrench to avoid moving the pipe and causing damage. You want to get that nipple facing up instead of down. And I found this rather difficult to achieve as I didn't want to over tighten, and I also didn't want to leave the nipple facing down. This was actually my 3rd attempt to twist it on to get it facing up, and I redid the Teflon tape each time. This was the best I could do. When you attach your braided water line, you don't want it to be doing a U-turn since the faucet will be up above. If it's facing down, this will make it more likely to leak in the future. Then you need to remove the 2 pieces inside the nipple thing. There's a little nut that screws off as well as the compression ball thing inside. You don't need those. Then screw on your braided supply line. This one is 3/8 on the end that connects to the valve and 1/2 inch on the end that connects to your faucet above. Make sure to get the right sizes for your faucet and valve. After you screw on the braided line by hand, use a little wrench to tighten it, but don't overdo it. Also, you don't need pipe dope or Teflon tape on these threads because these braided lines have a little gasket inside. Then repeat on the other valve if desired. You now need to go back outside to turn the water back on and test for leaks. You'll definitely need a bucket since there is no drain here. There's no sink. In my case, you can see it's not facing up perfectly, but at least it's not facing down. If you've watched other YouTube videos about changing out these valves, most of them fail to mention threaded pipe. And I even had a hard time finding one on Amazon, but I will link that in the description for you guys. Most videos only talk about Sharkbite press-ons and ProPress fittings and sweated or soldered on fittings, and a lot about compression valves, which seems to be the most common, but you cannot use any of those valve on the threaded pipe because they don't have threads inside. Sidebar, if you're going to have to reconnect your old bathroom faucet, consider just replacing it and get this nice Kohl faucet, which is very sleek and easy to clean. In fact, you don't really have to clean it that much. It pretty much just stays clean on its own. I bought this a few years ago, like 5-6 years ago, and I liked it so much that I searched the whole internet to find it again so I can install it in this other sink. So you can see the link in the comments. Speaking of comments, here are some more tips that I wanted to leave at the end to keep the main video short and sweet. These tips are from, or rather, they're comments from other plumbers in a Facebook plumbing group that I'm in, and this is what they had to say about my work, their opinions. One guy said not to use this cheap Home Depot brass craft angle stop and to use Dahl instead. That's DAHL. Too late now, but I couldn't find this brand on Amazon anyway. Another person said I did not tighten this valve enough onto the inlet pipe. I hope they're wrong. I guess time will tell. Also, in my first voiceover, I misspoke and I said that my water meter was a power shutoff. And the comments were just so funny that I decided to keep that mistake in there because a little bit of rage bait is great for comments. I also mistakenly said that I turned off the main shutoff 45 degrees. It turns out that's actually 90 degrees. Thankfully, I did it right. I just said it wrong. Again, a lot of funny comments about this, so I decided to keep that little piece of rage bait in there in my final voiceover. Next, I was told that it's not PC to say nipple, balls, or nuts, but I think this guy was just trolling me. Another guy said to use Loctite instead of Teflon tape, but then somebody called him an idiot, so who knows? There's a lot of opinions in the world of plumbing and a lot of assholes. But thanks again to all the people who took the time to comment on my original video, my original voiceover. You helped make this voiceover better, and I look forward to the next one, getting all your feedback on it. My next video will be to replace the faucet, the sink, and the vanity. So stay tuned, like, subscribe, comment, and share.